Do you love a good mystery?
We do, and today we have 3 of our favorite nativity art mysteries to share with you.
So we have the Blessed Mother and of course baby Jesus, but we also have one infamous art theft.
And a nativity that was lost for hundreds of years and then found, plus a manger scene miracle to share with you. So let's get started.
Okay, so our first art nativity mystery really surprised us. We've been looking at a lot of nativity paintings this Advent, so we were surprised to discover that one of the most beautiful and interesting nativity scenes out there is no longer out there.
So Caravaggio's Nativity with San Lorenzo and San Francisco is sadly no longer with us. It was stolen over 50 years ago in one of the greatest art heists of the 20th century.
So on a stormy night in October of 1969, this painting, which is also called the Adoration, was stolen from above the altar of the beautiful San Lorenzo Church in Palmero, Sicily. It had been hanging there for over 350 years, and it was worth an estimated $20 million.
And the heist required a lot of planning, probably a ladder, and at least 2 thieves to pull it off. They had to cut the painting out of its frame and then roll it up in a rug, which was also stolen, and then carry it off.
So where is the painting now? No one knows, but everyone has a theory. Of course, people were quick to blame it on the Sicilian mafia. They stole it, and then other people say no, just random thieves stole it, and then it was lost in a fire, or it was left on a farm and got eaten up by pigs. But then in 2017, someone else came forward and said, no, I saw that painting in Switzerland. And then someone else said, no, it's gone to the Middle East. So really, nobody knows. Pick your rumor.
And it's on the list of top 10 most wanted missing paintings. And it was one of Caravaggio's greatest masterpieces. It was finished in 1609, and like a lot of his work, it's very dark and dramatic and realistic.
Yeah, it's definitely realistic. It shows Blessed Mary looking a little disheveled. Her dress is torn. She looks tired. She's just given birth to the Son of God in a stable. Probably not the birth story she always dreamed of. So the painting is very intense, definitely, just like the artist himself.
Caravaggio was very interesting. He was an art genius, but he was known to have a temper. He was in more than one barroom brawl, and he was even known to have killed a man in a heated argument over a tennis match, like a 1600s tennis match.
They did have tennis, at least a form of it back then. So, in fact, he was on the run from the law when he died when he was only 38 of an infected wound from a sword fight. So he was naughty to the end, a rebel to the end.
And if you're wondering, there is a replica of the painting hanging in the spot in the church where the original used to be, but it would be a true Christmas miracle if the original ever turned up again.
So will this mystery ever be solved? Stay tuned. But it has been really fun and fascinating to read about.
Another fun and fairly recent mystery was in 2019 in England, where a nativity painting was discovered hidden underneath a different painting of the beheading of John the Baptist. Those two go seamlessly together, don't they?
Yeah, I think I will paint a nativity scene. No, wait, beheadings are more popular, so I'll do that instead. In any case, this painting was done by an unknown artist in the 1500s, and it does indeed show John about to be beheaded. He has his hands clasped in prayer, and the jailer behind him is looking very grim.
And in 2019, the painting itself was looking pretty grim. It was over 400 years old, and the wood panel it was painted on was starting to rot. So the Bose Museum, who owns the painting, called in an art restorer who noted that there might actually be a second painting hidden underneath the first, which is a pretty rare find.
Yeah, so that really ramped up the investigation of this painting. And in fact, it was just days before Christmas in 2019 that the art restoration team took an x-ray of the painting, and that is when they struck gold, literally.
So the x-ray picked up a halo around what appeared to be a baby in a manger. And this halo was done with gold leaf, so it literally lit up the screen. So that was a fun Christmas surprise for them.
But that wasn't the only surprise, because since then a whole manger scene has been discovered. You know, the baby, the manger, the animals, the shepherds. So that's a developing story. There's a whole forensic team now that's coming in to see what exactly lies beneath John the Baptist in this one. They're trying to determine when exactly was this painted, who painted it, and what types of paint were used.
So this is a fun mystery that is still going on. It will be interesting to see what unfolds. And in a sort of related aside, back on December 5th, the Bowes Museum was actually awarded a grant of over £200,000 to help develop 4 new art galleries.
So we don't know, but we're thinking that maybe they'll be able to display more of their art collection permanently using the money, and maybe this painting of John the Baptist / Jesus being born will go on display. In any case, it seems like for the Bowes Museum, December is their lucky month.
So our last nativity mystery is a miracle that took place in 1223 when St. Francis, who was very devoted to the baby Jesus, set up the first manger scene as we know it.
So he had recently been on a pilgrimage to the Holy Land, and he had visited the cave in Bethlehem where Jesus was born, and he was very moved by the poverty and humility of it all. I mean, think of it, the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords, born in a stable in a cave.
So he came home wanting to honor Jesus's birth and encourage devotion to the Christ child. So with the Pope's permission, he set up the first manger scene for the people of Greccio, Italy on Christmas Eve. He said, "For I would make a memorial of that child who was born in Bethlehem, and in some sort behold with bodily eyes his infant hardships, how he lay in a manger on hay with ox and ass standing by."
So for his living nativity scene, St. Francis tried to make it as real as possible. He set up a manger with hay and brought in all the animals to keep the baby Jesus warm, just like in Bethlehem. Only he didn't have a live baby to put in the manger because it was just too cold that night. He couldn't keep a baby out in the cold that long.
And the townspeople had never seen anything like it. They were amazed and delighted. They lit candles and processed to the manger, singing hymns of praise. Mass was said, and then St. Francis gave a sermon where he called Jesus the Babe of Bethlehem.
So the sermon was great. He was a gifted preacher, but when he was done, the townspeople noticed that the manger was no longer empty. There was a real life baby asleep on the hay, and the baby smiled and woke up when St. Francis picked him up.
And one of the people who witnessed the miracle was an old soldier, John of Greccio, who had quit his life on the battlefield out of love for Christ. He was a friend of St. Francis, and even St. Bonaventure mentioned him specifically later on as one of the eyewitnesses.
But in case people still doubted about what happened there that night, more miracles related to the manger scene followed.
And these miracles all have to do with the hay from the manger, which the townspeople had saved. And the first one is when the animals in the town were sick and dying from all different diseases. They were dying at an alarming rate. When the people fed the animals who were sick the straw from the manger, they were miraculously cured.
The hay also cured people and prevented different diseases, and it was especially good for moms in labor. The moms who had been in labor for a long time and were in tremendous pain and were suffering, when the hay was brought to them, their pain miraculously went away and their babies were born safely. So, oh my goodness, wouldn't you love to have some of that hay? In any case, the birth rate in Greccio definitely went up.
And it also inspired the tradition of taking a piece of straw from the manger at church after it had been blessed.
And this is the reason why we create and set up nativity scenes at home and our church during the Christmas season. It all started with St. Francis.
All right, so there you go. 3 very interesting and amazing nativity stories for you this Advent.
So we love art here. Let us know down in the comments, what is your favorite nativity scene or your favorite nativity painting?
So we hope you enjoyed today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.